Allie. We're having a phone interview. Allie, come inside. Marcus made this.
Ooh.
Notice the front lights? Our fancy foot pedal light.
Friendly.
We are the system.
The system is made up of people, and we are killing each other. We perpetuate the values of our culture, and we must take responsibility for the criminals our society produces. This is a life-size prison cell here. It's a cell that's used to house people in solitary confinement or the whole restricted, also known as control units or restrictive housing units. Currently there's over 20,000 people doing time in cells this size. When you're locked in a cell this size, you're locked down for 23 hours a day.
In the first case tonight, case number 15213, an adult Caucasian man is convicted of raping and murdering a woman whom he did not know. Come on, people, we don't have much time. Do you think this man can ever be rehabilitated? Do you think this man should have been sentenced to death?
Prison is just long periods of boredom punctuated by outbursts of violence. There's just no real opportunity for people to better themselves.
And the government's taking the power out of the people's hands on. And I ain't got no money for an attorney, so I'm just another number of this industry. We got more black men in prisons now than in universities, and it's costing more to keep them there than a college degree. And there's millions of babies with a parent locked up, and there's no one at home to help them grow up.
I don't know. Do you remember how I met him at the anti-war protest? And just what a part of our circle of friends he was. He worked at the Free Bike Project. He came into the coffee shop I worked at every day. I made his coffee for months. I even mediated one time between he and one of his ex-girlfriends. It was so confusing. I had no idea how serious the situation was. At times, I even had hope for society in general, thinking, here's a guy who's making a lot of mistakes, but is really open to help.
And then he started to make decisions that made us all feel really uncomfortable. And the community just kind of ousted him, and he disappeared, and I just didn't see him around for a while. And recently I heard that he's in jail, facing the death penalty, because he raped and murdered some girl. I bet if we would have had the courage to admit to ourselves that the problems were as real as the bruises that we saw on their bodies, we could have done something and confronted Ronnie on these issues as a community. But how do you break down the socially constructed walls of not getting involved in other people's personal business?
And over half of the prison population is locked up for nonviolent crimes. That's over 1 million people our society couldn't figure out anything better to do with than lock away in prison.
Anyone can go to any town or city and hear stories of the police unjustly using their power, unjustly killing people. Our loved ones and people in our neighborhoods are threatened. If we are afraid of the people who are supposed to protect us,
think of the pain that seeps through this land. Have all the kings never held a child's hand? Have they never loved? Have they never lost? To throw away the Andre's walk home. It was so powerful. The music, some of us were singing along from a place so deep down inside, we didn't even know it existed. Andre was a writer and a poet, among other things. One of his best friends found a poem he had written that described his death. It talked about him not getting to the next street corner. It's so strange, like he knew that was the way he was going to die. Near the anniversary of Andre's murder this year, we finished his walk home again. We plan to do it every year, in honor of our friend.
Andre's dad believes in the death penalty, and he wishes it upon the murderers. How can you begin to argue with a parent that has lost their child?
There are currently over 4,000 people serving life without parole in Pennsylvania. A life sentence is a death sentence.
That number includes women who in self-defense killed abusive spouses or strangers.
That number includes people that were in the car but did not pull the trigger.
That number includes people who were never given a fair trial to begin with.
That number includes people who are innocent.
That number includes mostly poor people.
That number includes mostly people of color.
Your neighbor, there's more at stake. If you're looking for a purpose, let's communicate. We need to learn how to feed ourselves, grow our own food, cause food is health. We need to live and let live, and not get caught up in these trivial pursuits of material stuff.